deteriorating relationship with the state. We know former Mayor Bill Purcell says repairing the relationship with state lawmakers, in his opinion, should be the next mayor's top priority. Tell us why you're the best person to do that and how you intend to go about it, and we'll begin with Alice Rolli.
Great, thank you. This is one of the primary reasons I joined the race for mayor. Watching the city that I love, the city that has always been home to me and my family, absent the time that we were gone for my husband's military service. This is the city that we came back to. This is the city where my 2 boys were born. This is a city that I want to succeed. The highest point in the county is named Gainier Ridge at Radnor Lake. That's named for my great-grandfather, and it is a reminder of a time period when we worked productively with the state. Securing generational investments for Nashvillians can happen when we take the ego out of it. That is not a city park, it's a state park. And to step back and say, how do we work productively with the state to advocate for the dollars that we need here for roads, for schools, for transit, and for serving our most vulnerable populations. Issues like homelessness, issues like transit, these are not things that stop at the county line, and these are things that our neighbors want Nashville to succeed. So let's take the ego out of it. Let's remove this concept of us and them and start to work together productively to get results for Nashvillians.
Freddie O'Connell.
So I think what we've seen, and this is, again, it's important to understand these contrasts. If you listen carefully to the last answer, Alice is clearly willing to work with state overrides. While many of us on the local level were working this year to defend Nashville's interests, whether it came to the convention center and causing it to potentially go out of business, which is one former convention center authority board member mentioned in a bill targeting that, or the airport authority, or in this conversation in the mayor's race, where Alice suggested she'd look to take over the school board and dismantle our elected school board. This is inviting further state overreach. This is not about defending Nashville's interests. And I think the next mayor is going to have to do 2 things well. We are going to have to recalibrate the state relationship, but we're going to do that with regional partners like the city and county mayors I've already worked with for a long time as a Nashville MTA board member through the Mayor's Caucus. We're going to have to work with other big city mayors. We're going to have to express a collection of shared priorities together and not invite further state overreach. We're going to have to defend Nashville's interests while looking for those appropriate places of partnership. That's exactly the approach I've been taking. I've been building state relationships for a long time. I come to the table with a bipartisan mix of support for this campaign, and I will go to the table that we sit around together to forge partnerships for the city as a Nashvillian, and remembering that we are all Tennesseans. That's one of the most important things that we have to do for ourselves. We represent 10% of Tennesseans, and we need to earn our opportunities to have appropriate levels of local authority.
Yep. We are allowing the candidates a little extra time to follow up, and you would like to follow up. We'll give you a few seconds. Go ahead.
I would like to follow up. When we are unproductive at the city level responding to the needs of our citizens here go and petition the state. So fixing the relationship with the state and running the city well has to be job one. Right now, over the last 8 years, we are now doubled how much money we're paying on interest in our debt. And Fran Bush, one of the former mayoral candidates, recently joined my campaign. She was the sole voice on our school board to reopen schools. A state law had to be passed when the needs of parents were being overridden at every turn by bureaucracy committed to not listening to parents. So if our city runs well, the state will manage itself. We have to manage our city well.
Go ahead. Mr. O'Connell. Quiet, please. Quiet, so we can give them enough time. Go ahead.
Rory, this is maybe the most remarkable set of contrasts. Basically, Alice has just said that the appropriate thing for Nashvillians to do is not to use our authority under our existing charter to do things like set our metro council size. It's to go ask the state to override our local elected officials. That's extraordinary to me. I cannot imagine trying to operate a government where we're going to ask the state for things if we're in a vocal minority. The right way to do that is to win elections, to challenge school board members whose positions you don't like. We've got a 40-member Metro Council, and the last time, as recently as 2015, that we asked ourselves if that's the size we wanted, we resoundingly said yes. We have the tools to govern ourselves, and we should be allowed to use them.
Okay. Thank you both.